welcome to Cushy TV, the straight talking channel. Yes, you know the journey, Billy Crib, the Tarmac Warrior. Yeah, I couldn't find. I found the Tarmac Warrior, Billy Crib. And you know what I found? Found out that he don't exist. Found out the Tarmac Warrior is full of bullshit. That's what I found. Yeah, I suspected it all the way. When you find a warrior within an industry you know, in your own backyard, yeah, I thought it was a bit too good to be true. He don't exist. So I have found Billy Crib. Billy Crib is zero existence. He don't exist. What I found was, when I've done some research, 1963 he had his first taste of a massive fight with skinheads. And they didn't come to the UK till 1969. So straight away, there was a red flag going up there, yeah? And then he claims to have met Lenny McLean in an airport, yeah, in New York Kennedy Airport, JFK Airport, with bandages on his hands. Now come on, did you see Ricky Hatton turn up at the airport with boxing gloves on? You know, you've got to get the other side of the airport and find out where you're going and get your transport and settle down. You don't go on your cab journey on the plane with bandages in your hands. All right, but that's the first thing. Bandages on your hands in an airport. But the thing is, he says in his book that he served a prison sentence, yeah, in Chelmsford Prison. He done 3 years. Mate, I've been to America. I went there for a golf tournament and barely got in there. Trust me, with a criminal record, it's zero, no chance. You wouldn't get in there. What I found was bullshit all the way. And in fact, what it was a complete copy. On the Cobbles come out, Jimmy Stockings' book, On the Cobbles. Look at the name, Tarmac Warrior. Tarmac Warrior on the Cobbles. Become a complete, he delved in and looked into the book. This fraudulent journalist, if it was fiction it'd be fine, but he claimed to be fact. This was meant to be a factual book, yeah? Not fiction. If he said it was fiction, you can read what you want and pretend to be what you want. But I'm amazed that they used the same publishing company as On the Cobbles, a big, massive publishing company called Mainstream. How we got by the post there, I do not know. But when I look at it in depth, he copied all the things from On the Cobbles, yeah, and Bartley Gorman's book, King of the Gypsies, I think it's called. That's what they basically copied. He claimed to have had a fight in a ship. That's in Bartley Gorman's book. Yeah, he's picking things out. He claimed to have a gypsy dad and a Jewish mother, and Jimmy Stocking says in his book that his gran was reported Jewish, a little girl given away, brought up by gypsies. There's a chapter of myself in there, and he goes on, he had a name like Tarmac Warriors, he didn't like a name like Gypsy Joe. That's a chapter in Jimmy's book On the Cobbles. He's picked that out, this journalist. Didn't like a name like Gypsy Joe, and I state that I'm commonly known as Gypsy Joe in the golfing circuit. Many of you know I play golf, right? He had a grandfather come from, his name was Jack, come from Heathrow. My grandfather was a fighter, owned some land near Heathrow. Yeah, you see, he's just picking things out. He then goes to Tenerife and stays in Tenerife. Of course, the most famous person in Tenerife was, or infamous, whatever you want to think, was John Palmer. He uses his granddad's name as Jack Palmer. Can you see? He's just picking little bits. It was complete and utter shit. It was a copy of mostly On the Cobbles and some of Bartley Gorman's book. So what did he do wrong? He sold this as a factual book. In fact, it was complete fiction, bullshit, must disappoint people, never existed. It was actually written by some bloke who pretended to be an hypnotist, but all these fake pictures with wigs on and blood, and how did he get past the mainstream publishing bit and get some money? And he goes, in the race, these books come out at the time, we had the non-gypsy fighting scene was Lenny McLean and Roy Shaw. Then the gypsy fighting scene come out, first one out was On the Cobbles, Jimmy Stockings. Yeah. Next one then was Bartley Gorman. And this bloke comes in the mix trying to race with them. And must have taken thousands and thousands of copies, because it was a really well sold book. Must have taken thousands and thousands of copies from Bartley Gorman. Bartley passed on shortly, bless him, but taken sales of money from his family and from Jimmy's book and family. So that was it. That's probably as much as he done wrong, and the disappointment of you thinking you've read about a real warrior and enjoying it and whatever. Complete fake, yeah, complete fiction. The Tarmac Warrior has been found to be complete and utter bullshit. So what you have to do right here, yeah, is when you do pick up a good honest book, yeah, you read it and enjoy it, because this is one that was nothing at all. Alright, I'm sorry for you people that have read the book and enjoyed it, but be careful what you read and what you believe, because that was bullshit. No Billy Cribb. I knew I would have knew of him, 100,000,000%. Claims he was a gypsy fighter that didn't fight in the gypsy scene. A gypsy fighter, I don't fight in the gypsy world. Well, if you're a black fighter, you're a black fighter. If you're a gypsy fighter, you're a gypsy fighter. If you're a mainstream white fighter, you're a mainstream white fighter. If you, whatever you are, if you're a Chinese man, you're a Chinese fighter. Whatever you are, you are. Complete and utter bullshit. But at least we can rest our case. The Tarmac Warrior has been found to be bullshit. I have the Straight Talking YouTube channel. I'll keep talking, and I've got more to come. I've got some fantastic little fight stories for you. In the meantime,